Hi, and welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to talk about the moment everything could have fallen apart and it was better than I ever thought was possible, how negotiation saved it all. This is a story about how my boss tried to fire me. And you may have heard parts of the story, but you definitely haven't heard it this way. I'm going to be giving you a masterclass on negotiations, and I won't have time to cover this. So, we're going to put this really, really important concept here in this podcast for the podcast listeners. What was so surprising to me, how I got to this topic for today is I was hosting an in-person event in Niagara Falls with a few of my private clients. And I was telling them a story about how my boss tried to fire me, and they all had really big eyes and a gaping mouth. They're like, "What? I've never heard this before, and I've listened to all your things since forever." And I realized, while I am the story is actually neutral. If not, I'm very proud of myself. It's a story I have never told before, really. I thought I had, but I guess I haven't, which is super interesting there. So I'm going to tell a story here, and I'm going to tell you the three things you need to know. So if you're ever in this situation, which if you're a woman physician in medicine, you absolutely will be here at some point where you think you're about to be fired, your boss says they're going to fire you, where you think everything's on the line. These are the only three things you need to know. Let's get started. So the backstory is my chair accused me of hiding my coaching business and said I was violating university policy and threatened to fire me, sue me, seize all of my assets, my coaching company, podcast, library, portal, everything, contracts, take all the revenue I've ever created and divide it amongst the other faculty as a bonus for them. And it didn't matter, not profits. So not the extra in my savings, revenue, whatever I had generated, she was going to have me write a check to her and she was going to split it up to everyone in the faculty. And legally she could have. So here's what you have to know. The university, human resources, they will always come on the side of your boss, the chair of leadership. Always, always, always. No matter what, they will not be on your side. So you need to know how to negotiate to keep yourself safe. All right. So coming back to the story, I was a little bit shocked because I thought I had done everything on the up and up. I had listed myself as a coach, as a professional coach, which means I'm getting paid for my services on every annual review that my chair signed, which her signature meant she'd reviewed it, or so I thought. So I didn't think it was a problem. I gave multiple departmental lectures, workshop, grand rounds on coaching, my coaching practice, my clients, what I've been learning from studying these clients from across the country. I thought it was really public knowledge. The faculty and residents saw me as a coach, so they came to me for free coaching because I was known as a departmental coach. I had open conversations with my chair, with the vice chair, with my division director, with my colleagues, with the residents. So I thought everything was on the up and up. And also, none of that mattered because when a chair wants to come after you, she will, and she'll have the full support of the university. So it doesn't matter how right you are, how much paperwork is there. If you don't know how to negotiate, you could be putting your career at risk. And so I'm going to be teaching you everything you need to negotiate. And part of it starts here on the session. And then I'll give you some additional free resources too. So here's what happened when my chair came after me. I didn't die. I negotiated. It really is as simple as that. I'll tell you three basic concepts that were just crucial. Here is step one. And what I want you to do is think about the last time it felt like your chair was coming after you, your boss was coming after you. It could have happened this morning. It could have happened at your last annual review. It could have happened when you were in high school working at the department store. But if you're in medicine, this has happened. Bosses threatening to fire faculty happen. It happens every day, multiple times a day. I want to normalize this for you, not because I want you to get used to being abused, but because I don't want you to make yourself wrong. If you are a woman in medicine, your job has come under fire many, many times, not because you did anything wrong, but because the system is flawed. So we did that as actually step one is to normalize this. Next step, don't shame or blame yourself, not for one moment. In my situation, I sure could have attacked myself. I could have been like, oh, Christina, you're so dumb. Yeah, you did all these things, but you could have had more conversations. You could have had more documents signed, right? And my brain was like infinitely having the chair signature for multiple years wasn't enough, right? My brain's like, we needed to just, I don't know. I don't even know what it would have looked like. But it was definitely, I could have made myself wrong and bad and careless and reckless and irresponsible and unethical and lacking of integrity, right? I could have done all that. But as long as I'm attacking myself, I cannot possibly advocate for myself. As long as I'm attacking myself, I cannot possibly solve the problem. As long as I'm attacking myself, I cannot possibly get out of this situation. And if the energy I have is I'm a bad person, I have no integrity, I'm unethical, I'm such an idiot, if that's the energy I carry myself around the department with, my chair would have read that and she would have doubled down on pushing me out. She would have read my energy. I was already defeated. She'd be like, yeah, let's just go in for the kill, right? Your energy that you have in your body matters. If you feel horrible because you're attacking yourself, here's a step. Do not blame or shame yourself, not even for one moment. I get that that's really easy to do. We've been taught to shame and blame ourselves, especially as women. And also, as long as you're shaming and blaming yourself, you're going to feel terrible and you will not see any solution because you're the problem. So the only solution is for you to get fired and leave and lose your house and be homeless. If you're the problem, there is no solution. So the strategy is do not shame or blame yourself, not even for one moment. I'm going to give you some strategy of how you can help yourself, but I would say here, the number one skill that will help you not shame or blame yourself is having a coach, a therapist, someone outside of you, a committee of really good friends who always believe in you. You have to have someone outside of your brain because your brain is going to think you did something wrong and that you're a horrible person. You have to have someone outside of your brain to remind you that's not true. Come back to this podcast because we started with this is so normal. This happens all the time. It's not you, it's a flawed system. Come back to this. Hire a coach, get a therapist, find a spiritual counselor, get a group of friends to remind you none of that is true. Here are some thoughts that I found really helpful while I was going through this is how what we're essentially saying in this step is be on your own side always. Stay on your own side always. So these are some things I knew about myself that were really helpful. I know I'm a good person. I know I'm ethical. I know I'm responsible. I know that I have integrity. I didn't mean to do any harm. If I knew this would lead to that, you better believe I would have done something different. I thought I was following the rules. I saw other physicians doing paid coaching and their own coaching practices all over the university. I saw lots of examples of this working. So I thought, okay, well, it's working for them. It must work for me, especially since I've been so public and open, talking to my chair and vice chair and all these other people about my coaching practice. For sure, I'm on the up and up. So I knew I wasn't doing anything malicious. I knew my intent. And because I knew myself that I was a good person following what I thought were the rules, I wasn't defensive. I could just take accountability, which sounded like this. I had no idea. I thought, here's all the paper trail. I thought I was being very open about this. If I knew, I wouldn't have. I'm sorry that I did. I'm sorry that I did this. And how can we make this better? I told myself, I know I'm a good person. I just need to have a few conversations to make sure we're all on the same page. And in the end, how many conversations before everything turned around? It was exactly one. I was one conversation away from all of this being corrected. You want to remind yourself that we're not going to the death chamber. We're not being put to death. We're going to have one conversation. That's it. Because our scared brain, who thinks we have to be perfect and everyone has to like us all the time, is going to freak out and attack ourselves. And from there, there's just nowhere to go. There's no good place to go. I'll say that. It's really easy to spin out and get depressed and just feel very unstabilized, and your relationships will suffer, and insomnia and stress eating, get an ulcer, all that stuff. No, 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 no. We want to stay with being on your side always. And I promise you, you can find this. I'm a good person. Of course, I didn't mean any harm. And when you're there, you can take accountability. I'm sorry that that went sideways. I didn't fully know. I should have known better. How can we fix this? Was all I needed to say to start moving and turning this conversation in a direction that bent my career in a really positive way. When you're not blaming yourself, you will be able to troubleshoot. You'll get perspective. You'll be able to hear what the chair is saying and you'll be able to address it. You'll be able to say, okay, if I'm a good person, I didn't do anything wrong, Now, where were the parts where this all broke down? Where are structural elements that could be in place to help me and other people and my chair and everybody else at the university? What are the problems that can be fixed, knowing that every single problem can be fixed? You cannot troubleshoot if you are a terrible person. Your brain would just like it won't see any way forward. So you first have to be on your own side. So yeah, so I got to this place where I wasn't defensive. I could problem solve. I could take accountability. There is a school of thought women over apologize. I would say that school of thought is just as dangerous as telling a woman to always apologize. We as women are allowed to apologize or not apologize however we want, and that's true feminism. Telling a woman she always has to do one or the other is just as misogynistic as anything else. It really is. I don't believe that at all. I believe that if an apology is the one thing that saves your job and you feel really empowered by it because you can save your job anytime, I say go ahead and apologize. I don't judge anything that keeps me safe. I don't judge anything that keeps my family finances safe. I don't judge anything that keeps my career safe. As bad, I consider it as we are adapting to a stressful situation and we do what we need to prioritize what's important. That sounds like ultimate feminism to me. So that's what I think about that. When I was there, I was on my own side. I wasn't defensive. I was taking accountability. I was working things forward. I could work with the university to fix problems and make things so much better for all of us. So fast forward, we wound up I told my boss about why I was into coaching because it really in many ways saved my life. Like I was feeling so depressed. I'd been with a therapist for 30, 40 years and nothing was really like significantly moving the needle. I went to one coaching call and in that one session, I felt so much relief, a tremendous breakthrough. And every day got better and better and better. And I learned how to weather a really difficult career while loving my job. I learned how to contribute at a really big level without resenting my boss. I could stay in a job without job hopping from job to job to job because I had the skills to manage crucial conversations, difficult friendships, and relationships. The coaching has been shown to save departments millions of dollars because you can attract and retain the top faculty, top resident applicants. It can decrease staff turnover, conflicts, bad patient outcomes. I could show her the JAMA references and p values, and that caught her attention. And she was really excited to hear that there was something out there that could actually work besides these lunch and learns with pizza that nobody wants to attend and everyone thinks is just so tone deaf. There was actually a tool and someone in the department who can lead that effort. So we worked together to create a departmental coaching program. It kept my job not just stable, so much better. It helped me lose all the parts of the job I hated, call, frozen sections. I was on service 1 week a month. I was given a title, leadership opportunities, funding to help support this and grow this program. I gained an amazing relationship with this chair who I had so much admiration that she could be forward thinking. A lot of chairs here coaching are like fringe, woo, no thanks. This chair was like, oh, there's science that backs this. Let's do it. How great to work for a boss who can go from I've never heard this before to in the same sentence, let's build this program. Like how great to work for someone who had such a nimble mindset and was able to go into action quickly, who didn't have to go ask all the vice chairs what they thought, go talk to the dean. She's like, that sounds amazing. We need it. Right. So much respect. My relationship got so much better with her once we were able to talk about all of this and we could talk about it because I was on my own side. I didn't make myself wrong. And boy, did we do really good work. I was put on, or actually I asked to. Well, we were always right. Everyone in the department was asked to interview resident applicants or interview faculty candidates as they came through, especially if it was your department. And I brought my coaching skills to those sessions. Not in an unethical way, but I remember we were trying to recruit a senior pathologist, and she was like, gosh, I don't know about coming to the university. My group is so stable. I think this university is unstable because there's so many people who come and go. And I said, as a coach, hearing that, I said, what's the chances that the president of your private group is going to stay there forever? She's like, oh, not guaranteed at all. May not be, the universe might be safer for you then. I said, how was the pandemic? How did you all weather the pandemic? She's like, oh my gosh, it was scary. There were layoffs, there were pay cuts, there were bonuses lost. I said, you know what, the university, because it's such a big group, no layoffs, no pay cuts, and we got a huge bonus. This university, if you're looking for stability, may be your best answer. None of that happened here because we have people moving in and out. The best parts of the job stay the same, but every time we have people moving in and out, if you know how to negotiate, you can upgrade your job with every new hire. That's tremendous flexibility you can't get anywhere else. Right. So we were able to attract top talent because we could bring coaching as a tool for recruitment. Same for the residents. Same for the residents. None of it unethical. All was just like challenging, finding their thought errors and challenging them and telling them the truth so they can make really good decisions. Super ethical, super responsible. We also that we attract people, but we keep them there because the job gets just better and better and better when you have these skills to improve the work culture, to help people walk through difficult conversations and relationships, to get ahead of problems before they even happen. So we have less HR complaints, less infighting, right? Pathologists just can come and get their work done and not worry about all this fighting and politics and dynamics. We did really, really good work together, but only because step one, I was on my own side. I didn't make myself wrong at any time. Step two, this is going to be the hardest step. I didn't blame her. It's very easy. Every human is going to want to blame everyone else around them. You cannot hear me, folks. You cannot get people on your side while you're making them your enemy. You cannot get people to the negotiation table to make your job better if you've made them your enemy. You cannot negotiate with someone you're blaming. You cannot feel good about yourself while you're also being the victim. You cannot. If it's all her fault, then I'm the victim. I have no way to move forward and I am helpless. And when she sees me helpless, that's her going in for the kill. It's not her like showing up like, let's do this together. The energy you carry is going to be the energy that steers the negotiations to success or failure. So you have to find a way not to blame the boss, the system, everyone else. And here's how you do it. I want to say, like a side note, if you're blaming you, that will be very painful. The natural cycle of humans is we blame ourselves. It feels really painful. So then we start blaming everyone around us. Now, everyone is at fault, including ourselves. And you're never going to be able to troubleshoot from that time. So you have to find a way of taking blame off the table. I am a good person, and so is she. I didn't know, and neither did she. We're both trying to do a really hard job. So is she. We can work together to get this done. I'm sure that we can. She's not out to get me. She's trying to keep the department safe and ethical. So, not blaming her will open up lots and lots of opportunities for you. You'll be able to ask yourself way more important, essential questions like what is actually going on here? Where were the gaps in the communication? What are structural issues a university has misstepped in that we can fix? So I'm not focusing on blaming them. I'm like, what happened that this brilliant person is in this situation? Is there's structural elements missing in the university? All of it can be fixed if I'm not blaming me or blaming her. Instead of blaming you or her, you have to focus on solving the problem. You cannot negotiate while blaming her or yourself. I want to say this. Did I have icky feelings about her in the university? 100%. 100%. I don't have them anymore, but I for sure did. So I want to say you are human to have icky feelings about your boss. Do not negotiate from that place. What did I do with them? I went to my coach and we processed them. Process means you work with your feelings until they release, until you feel freedom and lightness and expansion, until your feelings of blame and shame and anger and hurt are gone and replaced with solid conviction, belief in your possibility, belief in the good here. That's what you negotiate from. You absolutely cannot do this on your own. On your own, you will spin the hell out. You will have very dark thoughts. You will gain weight in the process. You will argue with your husband when you don't want to. You will lose sleep, and all of that will just intensify. You cannot do this on your own. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to pay for a coach, although I think that's the fastest way to do it. But also, you could go with your employee benefits to get a therapist. You can have your friends sit and listen to you. You can, there's a million options, all right? But doing this on your own is impossible. You cannot, you're not supposed to. You have to be witnessed by someone who believes in you, who can show you around these really painful thoughts that are going to feel very strong. Yes. So it's hard. This is the hardest step for me. But as long as I was blaming her, I was blocked from problem solving. And eventually I was like, I want to solve this problem more than I want to hate her. I'm going to solve this problem more than I want to hate myself. I just want to solve this problem, and I can't while I'm hating me or her. Right? You got to like pick a lane. Do I want to keep hating her and this problem just gets worse, or do I want to solve the problem? And by solving the problem with the way I teach with negotiations, our relationship got so good. So I was able to save my job, make it infinitely better, and have a better relationship with her. That is win, win, win. There was no downside from that. But I'm telling you, if you choose to make your boss the villain and you are also a helpless victim, and you're just full of hate and resentment, it is lose, lose, lose. You will not be able to fix the problem, and you're going to feel horrible. And folks, you are the hero here. You should not be persecuted by yourself. You should be amplified by yourself, healed by yourself, because you are the person who's going to work through these negotiations to success or to failure, but you're the one who's going to steer it. And your results will depend upon your thoughts about you and your thoughts about them. If you're full of belief, you're going to get to success. If you're full of hate for you and them, it will be failure. There's no other option. Choose success. When in doubt, choose belief in your infinite possibility and potential. You'll only be able to do that if you don't blame you or them. It's hard to do. It's impossible on your own. Hire a coach. Get good friends. See a therapist. Any one of those options. So yes, I'll tell you what it was. What did my human thoughts sound like? This is really unfair. I remember. But what a bait. I did all this effort and none of it counts. This is so unfair. I am being wronged. I wish she could just hear me. Why didn't she review these documents she signed that confirmed she saw and reviewed it? What about all these other physician coaches at the university? What about them? How are they getting away with this? And I'm not. Like, why am I being made the example of? So, a lot of those thoughts, which felt horrible. And as long as I was there was just no way forward. So really working through coaching was essential for me. And I got to a place, well, I didn't know. It's a good chance she didn't know because she was even further removed from coaching. Like if I don't blame myself for not knowing, I can't blame her for not knowing, but I could align with her on that. I could say, yeah, I didn't know either. And she could be like, yeah, this is crazy. I didn't know either. And then we could just solve the problem. We could just be two humans with the same interest, which was to save this job and make it so much better, that we were two human women who could help each other. I could build a coaching program. She couldn't build that on her own. She could save my job at the university level with the dean and the lawyers. I couldn't do that on my own. We could help each other if I could lead this negotiations effectively. This, by the way, none of this is toxic positivity. If any of you are thinking like this sounds toxic positivity, it is not, because just remember, I allowed myself to have all those human emotions of this isn't fair. I hate this. I hate her. I hate me. I let myself have it, but I didn't let myself get stuck in it. If you're negotiating from that place, it's just not going to go well. So let yourself have it. Go to your coach, your therapist, your friends to work through it. Get to the place of belief in you and them and the system. Negotiate from that place. That is win, win, win. I would highly suggest in this step to take off the table anyone doing anything wrong when you're negotiating. When you're in your human feelings allowance of, yeah, you can think you did something wrong, they did something wrong, everyone did something wrong. You can have that, but don't negotiate from that. Process those emotions, release those emotions, get to a place of, I didn't do anything wrong. We're all humans. We're going to fix this 100%. We can fix this 100%. That needs to be your predominant mindset. What we learn here is thoughts create results. If your thought is this is unfair, the result you can create for yourself is even more unfairness. If your predominant thought is we can fix any problem, the result you can create for yourself is you're going to make an even better job. Step 3 is the turnaround. How did I get my chair to become my biggest supporter? Was really showing her the science and showing her the possibilities. I said, we can do something similar here. We can do something better that's ever been done. I think I laid it out, and I teach this in my coach training, but I laid out what the curriculum would look like, that I would teach a class every month, and we would record it so they'd have it forever. And it would be an essential tool that they need to fulfill a metric the department needed. So how to have really crucial conversations, how to diminish conflict, how to get their work done faster and get home faster so they're more likely to stay. If their turnaround time is faster and they're happy and they're with their family, we're going to have more retention, for example. How to get promoted faster, which is what they all wanted. So did the university, but they were getting sidetracked and not understanding how to steer their career. So every month we had a didactic where they got tools that they could use to become even happier in their job, which meant there was less conflict, there was less turnover, there was more stability. And then I held also monthly small group coaching sessions where people could come and get coached on anything. And I had 5 private one-on-one free sessions every month. Sign up, first come, first serve, so that we could, if there was an area of the lab or the department that was hurting, we could target and make changes to that culture and solve problems before they became out of hand. She gave me protected time, funding, space, announced it to the group that she was very happy about this department-wide coaching program. We built something that had never existed before, a trauma-informed coaching program tailored for physicians in the Department of Pathology. We had a way to retain top faculty and residents. We had a healthier work culture where hard conversations didn't turn into disasters. And personally, I got to just erase the parts of the job I hated, call and frozen sections. I retained full control of my business, all the assets, my podcast, my library, all the revenue ever generated. I shifted my clinical FT into coaching. So I was only on service 1 week a month, and I got to spend a lot of the extra time with coaching. Plus, why this was the best job ever is I didn't have to do any work for my ideal clients. My ideal clients came to me through the university without Facebook ads, webinars, emails, social media, nothing. They just showed up on my calendar. It was the best job ever, including having an amazing relationship and so much respect for her and just feeling very excited and invigorated about the best job that's ever been created. Hand on a Bible, I really think there's never been a job that's that great because I negotiated. So, in summary, when your boss threatens to fire you, here's what you want to do. Step 1, don't blame you. Step 2, don't blame them. Step 3, problem solve with negotiations. That's it. Bosses will threaten to fire people until the end of time because they can. This is not new. What is new is learning how to protect yourself no matter what through negotiations. And when you know the one skill in negotiations, you can protect your job in any economy, any chair, any sticky situation, any zip code, any specialty. It is the one skill you need for the rest of your career. Philosophy I have is that every hard conversation, every sticky situation is a chance to make your job better. And here's why. Problems will always come up. When problems come up, you know how to negotiate, you have an advantage. You have your boss's full attention. If you're not in a problem, your boss has 100 fires. She's going to put out the fires that are biggest first. If you're not a fire, you're not a priority. When you're in a sticky situation, you are a fire, you become a top priority for your boss. And if you have negotiations, you can maneuver that conversation to make your job better, just like I did. No call, no frozens, 1 week of service a month, no RVU pressure, additional funding, support, leadership, protecting all of your coaching business assets. When you know how to negotiate, you sleep well because you know you have your own back. You know how to get out of any situation. You don't have to worry about being fired. Just like, I know how to negotiate. I'll either make this job better or I'll go find a better one. You create stability for your family in any socio-political climate. You don't just keep your job, although, that's nice. You make it better through these sticky situations. And if you need to walk, you can, and it will be for a better job. Here's why I need you to know this, because being threatened isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of something way better. If you know how to negotiate. Negotiations are not nice to have. They're not these luxury items. They're not just for some people. Negotiations just don't happen once in your life when you join this place. They're an essential skill you need to keep your job safe, your family safe, your career safe, forever. You need them forever. It's the one skill that keeps it all safe, and you're going to learn how to negotiate. I've got two ways for you to learn this. One of them is if you're like, I need to negotiate today, I have a negotiation this week, I would say book your free sales call. I'll have a link below. You can join this week. You get access to all our negotiations material as well as me. We can book a one-on-one and delve into helping you. And we have a call just a couple days away. Two, I have a free option is that you can get everything you need to negotiate that you ever will need in your entire life. You only need to hear this one class. This is a brand new free life masterclass. It has everything you ever need to negotiate. You have heard this nowhere else. Bring all of your friends. It's how to get a six-figure raise, five-figure bonus, four-day work week, top negotiation strategies exclusively for women physician, no matter your practice setting, specialty, or zip code. If you have listened to all the podcasts and books on negotiations written by white bro men, they will not work for you, I promise. And you know this too, because they weren't written for you. They weren't written by someone like you. I am going to teach you everything you need to know as a woman physician, and you're going to get at the free live masterclass top 10 negotiation mistakes women physicians make, how to correct for it, how to get the yes without jeopardizing your physician contract. Standard contracts are just a starting point, how to get everything on the table while getting along better with your boss. Steal my script, get my negotiation script that will have your boss excited to say yes, and counter offers to unlock unprecedented gains. The link to join is below, or book your one-on-one if you want to join the program now. See you there. Share it with all your friends, by the way.